Hi. Hello, hello. We're doing episode 15 of If This Canvas Could Talk with Terry Wilson and myself. And I'm excited to have 15. And I'm getting just her and I on today. Are you there,
Here.
my friend?
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Okay. Okay. What I figured out is I have to do a weird angle on my camera. So I'm going to have to put it on a
Okay.
lower thing next
I
time.
know. I'm figuring it out as we go too.
Something something I'm figuring out. So welcome everybody. Welcome for joining anybody that's joining this live. I'm Jeanette Bergstrom from Jeanette Bergstrom Art, and I have with me with her beautiful painting behind her, Miss Terry
Good
Wilson,
morning.
Terry Wilson Art. Uh, Good morning. So we are excited. I mean, this morning we don't have a guest on. We're just going to be us two talking. And so where do you want to start us
Well,
off?
today we're going to be talking about, our journey of taking our art to the next level, and what we're doing to do that, what that entails, how we've been feeling about it, what has been the process of it, in the hopes of sharing. The whole point of this live is to share our journey and other people's journeys in the hope of inspiring others to further their journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and share with what we're going through, trying to make a living from this and doing it for, we're mostly doing it because it brings us joy, but also how can we monetize it just a little bit, and have support so that we can continue buying supplies and making art and sharing our art, and so it's for those of us that are just starting out as well as established artists, but to kind of relate to, maybe they'll remember of where it was when they first started. So we've had some great guests on, and yeah. So this week I've had a little bit of struggle getting motivated to work. I'm working on this commission behind me, and you can see I worked on the I worked on the sky and the mountains, but I'm going to go lighter. Like I'm going to do another layer on those, and I'm doing that as a commission, which we are not total fans of commissions. Um, and Terry was working on a commission. So I guess we could talk a little bit about that to start, because um, with this one, I had other paintings that she had liked. And I think it's a little bit easier when it's not abstract. Because with abstract, you're not getting those same brush strokes. You're not getting the same. I mean, it's abstract can be so free that you can't even remember what you did last time.
100%.
So, but with this, I have a, yeah, but with this, I have a visual. Oh, she liked this painting. So I'm kind of just playing off of that. So I have a little bit more to go
Sure,
by, so
sure.
it's not as stressful. But when you're trying to please someone, they can get pretty stressful. So tell us what you decided, what we talked about that you had decided about doing
You
commissions for
know,
people.
I go, it depends on the day, and you know this because we go round and round in our private conversations about commissions, and they are exciting to take on, and I want to make people happy that I love in my life, and usually the people that want to commission are the people that I'm closest to and my friends, and so I just saw Allie come on, and Aussie Mama said, hey. I said, hey back. Hi, guys. How are you? Hi, ladies.
Yay.
Politically correct.
Yay.
I don't even know if that's politically correct. Hey.
Yeah, we love it.
Hi,
Hi, Jay Little Art.
everyone.
Well, thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
friends. That's good. Hi,
Yeah,
friends.
so
Yes, hi,
excited to
friends.
have you.
Okay,
Yeah, hi,
I go back
friends.
and forth on commissions because I want to please people who love my work and want something similar to something that they've seen, or they want something in their head that they want me to try to create. And at first I love them, and of course I say yes because I want to try it and do it, and I want to grow. But I'm just finding that with the kind of art that I create, it's very like you were saying about the commission that you're doing now. It's
It's
very,
fluid.
what'd you say?
Your art is
Fluid
very
and
fluid.
and intuitive.
So
I can
you can't
control it. I
control
have
it.
very little
Yeah.
control over it. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to control it more and more. And I just started a new class with Ryan. Shout out to her. And I'm going to be learning a little bit more about that. But it is also that I work with just leftover colors as well, right? So there's a commission that I'm working on right now, and it's very similar to the original art that she loves, but the issue that I've run into is that I no longer have those colors. I just kind of mix as I go and put things together, and then I'm just kind of throwing it on the canvas, not necessarily, but putting it on the canvas and seeing what
Yeah.
happens, and I'm finding that is very hard to recreate. And so I don't really know if
Yes.
I can actually do commissions in the future in the sense of trying to make it like a previous painting.
Right. So we had talked about you saying, look, I will do
Mm-hmm.
the size that you want, and I will do paintings in that size. And then if you see something you like, I'll give you the first choice
Right.
as I finish those. But without having that in your mind of what they're wanting, you're just creating at that size that
Right,
they want.
because it's when I look at the two paintings side by side, and you and I talked about this yesterday, is that because we were comparing them, right? The first one is freer. It's got that freedom and that
Yeah.
joy in it, and that playfulness of just trying things that you cannot recreate when you're trying to recreate it. It's just gone. Yeah. And so,
Exactly.
and it's very hard for
Exactly.
her to tell me what she loves about it and what she doesn't love about it. One, because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings, and I'm trying to encourage her, like, it's fine. My feelings aren't that fragile that I want you to be happy. But I think that as the more she speaks to me about it, the more I can see what she likes and doesn't like, and she likes that freedom. So I'm only going to get that by doing what I do, and then her just seeing it and falling in love with it and wanting it. And that's a learning process that she is actually helping me learn.
Yeah, right. Because before we would just keep trying, and then it'd be
And so
different.
you're working on your commission in the back, and so your goal with this one that we've talked about is that you are blowing it out to be more abstract, less representational.
Trying. So I do like, so we want it to look like the California coastline, which I think it does. But the thing I always struggle with is I love those turquoise blue water and that beautiful water, but that's usually tropical water. It's not necessarily California water, although it can get, so I have to dirty it up with my paint colors. And then the other thing is, what's super popular right now is the almost light, like the color changes, like super light. And I tend to be a little bit heavier on the colors. So I'll go back through and probably lighten up those hills again, so they fade a little bit more into the background. But I do want to get looser and free with the water, because that's where I ultimately want to go. I want to go as abstract with the landscape and seascapes versus representational. So I am going to try to do some drips and some loosey strokes and kind of make it free, but also go light. So that's like, I mix that color up so I have plenty of it, and that'll be my kind of my darkest color, and then everything else is going to go at least that's the way I'm playing.
And you have to allow for some, you have to
definitely
allow for some happy accidents, as our friend Allie says, that move you forward and that you weren't expecting, but then make it unique and awesome and you. So
when we're in the flow, we're not thinking about those outside influences. So when those outside influences come in, you're trying to like overthink it. That's when the freedom kind of gets restricted. And so you lose what they love
Yes.
about your art to start with. So I think for me, commissions are hard. I know they're hard for you. I know a lot of people are, but there's some people that love the collaboration and love doing them. And it's not the collaboration so much, it's just that pressure of trying to make something
Yes.
please somebody else versus
And trying to
pleasing
do
yourself.
both at the same time too is not easy. So in a business sense, so because today is about, you know, building our business and putting our art out there, where do commissions fall into that? I mean, I think for me, one of the things that is a downfall of a commission so far that I've seen is that they take a lot more time to do than a regular, I'm just painting. And so I can see why, as we move forward in our journey, that we would need to charge a lot more for a commission. And I can see why other artists charge more for commission pieces, because they require a lot of time, a lot more energy from you because of all of these things that we're talking about. So in a way, are they really, I mean, if you aren't out in the art community and you're not selling in other avenues of like at art fairs or prints, or if you're not selling online, if you don't have a business in that sense of selling, commissions are probably very appealing because you know that you're going to sell this painting because it's a sense of security, right? But it comes with a lot of stuff. So
And I think it depends on what type of painting. If you're a realistic painter, or you're painting pets or portraits, you have something to go by to paint from versus something that's abstract.
yeah,
I think that's a big difference.
definitely.
I think it's a lot harder to
Well,
do commissions as an abstract artist, because I think you're going
you
to
are going to lose
lose yourself
yourself,
a little
and
bit.
maybe it's not as monetarily attractive as we once thought that it was, you know. So I think you have to decide for yourself what feels best to you. Do you like the sense of knowing that you have this income coming in because they want the painting, or are you more drawn to being able to possibly crank out more paintings freer, but you don't necessarily have a buyer for them yet, right?
Yeah, yeah. Allie says, I've tried to put in my head that even if someone doesn't love a commission, then someone else will find it. Yes,
Yes.
very true. I think that way, and I can release my worry. Not as easy to do. So Allie feels the same way. Yeah. And I know for the business side of it, I've been hearing what I've heard from our mentors, Jody King and things. They have said you add 20% on to whatever you normally would charge for that painting. It's an
Sure.
additional 20% to do the commission. And then you get a third, and a third. So a third before you begin, a third in the middle, and then a third
Yeah.
at the end, or something like that. So you have to
You
kind of
know,
figure it out that way. Now,
the gal that I'm taking classes from, Wyan, I just did a class from her recently that and how she teaches is she basically just records as she's creating her own paintings, and then she walks us through her decision-making processes and how she does everything and all of that. But she's actually painting, paintings for people. And she said that the best way for her to do commissions is that she will paint 3 of the same painting in as she's going, and then give them the option to choose from more than one, so that she has a little bit more. And I forgot about that, but that's an idea to do as well. And then, like Allie said, that those other 2 whatever ones they don't like, those other 2 you can put up for sale however you sell your other paintings.
That's a great idea. I think that's the way to go if you're going to do it. Yeah. And then I was having a hard time this week also getting a little motivated to go in and work on this painting. And I do have some just general life stuff that's getting in the way. But what I have done is I have committed to doing 15 minutes a day, doing something towards my art, because ultimately that's where I want to be. So I pulled some canvases out. I worked on my social media for our live today. And I would do things like that. So I think if you're not motivated, as long as you're taking steps towards your goal, I think that's what you have to do, just so you have some momentum and keep going forward. I also pulled out those 2 canvases so I can use and work on my more abstract landscapes. I'm going to use those canvases to play with while I'm working on this. So I pulled those out. I mixed the paint color that you see up there that I was working on. And then I just was, doing the other stuff that I had to take care of. But I know you also helped me through that because I was feeling a little low. So you had to cheer me up.
Welcome.
So thank you for that.
Of course. That's the point of
yes.
having someone along on the journey with you, is because not every day is a great day to paint. I mean, we're not motivated to do anything all the time. Hold on. Okay, Allie said there's a great podcast episode on Learn to Paint podcast talking about just committing to 15 to 20 minutes a day. Yeah.
I found that works because if I think of a big thing like, oh, I got to finish this, it stresses me out more than if I just say, okay, 15 minutes.
Yes.
You can set a timer even. Spend 15 minutes doing something towards your art, whether it's making some marks on a sketchbook. Sketchbooks are also, I want to talk about what I'm going to be doing next. But sketchbooks, there's no pressure on a sketchbook. That's just for you. You could just make some marks, mix some paint, do anything you want in a sketchbook, and there's no pressure on that. So that's also, you could spend 15 minutes just doing something, writing a note, doing something in your sketchbook too. And that's kind of free.
What I'm loving about the style of painting that I've been moving into over the last several months is, and I'm still finding, that's another whole subject about finding your style. And do we really need to find a style? Like, can we just evolve? And that's a whole, I think we need to unpack that on a different day. But my style is evolving because I am evolving as an artist, and I have so many ideas of things that I want to try that's what makes creating so much fun. But in this watercolor style, it is very conducive to the 15 minutes a day. But I paint more in 15 minutes every so often. I'm constantly and luckily I have my studio in my home, so I can literally, I put water down, I put watercolor down, it's got to dry before I can do the next layer. So
you're doing,
it's like 15 minutes, put new colors down, go away, do some other things, come back. Sometimes it's art things that I do, and sometimes it's house things that I do that need to get done or whatever. But I do feel like those 15-minute increments are really, really good, so that it releases you from this pressure of that you have to make a masterpiece in one afternoon, right?
Yeah. So do you find, because your process is that way of doing the layers and having to let it dry, do you find are you ever procrastinating for going in and painting?
I procrastinate at the beginning. I procrastinate just getting started when it's white, and not necessarily just because I'm afraid of what to put down, because I can put down anything and then it just starts it. It doesn't really matter, right? But I think it's just more of like, I don't know what it is, really. I love when I'm creating, but yet I procrastinate to get started creating. And then once I do, I just finished all these pieces that I did which we're going to come to, which is art fairs next. But want to jump into that? So I just finished creating all of these pieces that I was working on. I needed a booth photo to apply for an art fair that I'm applying for. And so I kept coming in and painting and going, and I'd even come back right before bed and I'd look at things, and then, water flows. So I'd have to take cloths and get rid of where it went that I didn't want it to go, and all of this. And then for the past couple of days, I finished last Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so 5 days now, I haven't really had anything new on the table to work on. And I keep finding myself wanting to come in here and look and do something, but I don't have anything down. So I told Tony yesterday, I'm just going to put some new canvases down and just start again, because it's not like I need anymore to have this whole afternoon to paint. It's very hard for us if you have a life outside of creating to have whole afternoons or whole days to just go in and paint.
Right, which is my situation. But what you said about that is what Amy Bonham said on our last live, that the fairs and the art fairs and entering into these gives you a motivation to paint. And she said that's how she, when she has an opening right now down at her gallery in Laguna Beach. And so painting to get ready for that is what motivated her to do some new paintings and get going. Just like you knew you had to set up your booth, you needed so many paintings to show. So you were working on, so it is a way to get motivated to do the art fairs and the galleries and, you know, whatever you have coming up. So that also is really good. And then the other thing we talked about a little bit is there were 2 different fairs that you applied to. One was smaller and one was larger. And so talk to us about what you saw the difference between the 2 and why you're excited about this new one.
The smaller one, so the larger one, it's both the same art fair. The same people put it on, but they decided to do a smaller one. They've been doing the big one for 33 years, so it's very well established. It's very well known in the community. And so they did one at the Seattle Design Center, which is where all the designers take, there's stores in there, and like the designers take their clients and they can shop for furniture and fabric and all this stuff. And so I guess they wanted to combine the 2 and try it. And so I applied for that one, and it was small. It was only like 47 booths. So I originally did, I did not create any art specifically for that booth. I just did a booth shot of what I already had, and it was very hodgepodgey. And now that I look back at that photo, in fact, I did a side-by-side comparison, and it was just like night and day of not only my art, but of the booth itself. And so because I did do the pro panels after all of that, but the art is different as well, because so we're getting ahead of ourselves. So I did not make it into that that fair. I got on their wait list, which I felt like was a huge win, because I've never had my art juried before. I've never had anybody look at it other than friends and family and people on Instagram, right? And so that was a little nerve-wracking, but I thought, okay, I'm just going to put myself out there. They don't even know what I look like. So this is my advice to anyone who's considering whether or not they want to put their art into something that's juried. First of all, they don't even know who you are, because it's a blind jury. They have no idea. They're just looking at it. So even if they don't pick your art for whatever reason, the rejection is minimal, because they don't even know you. They don't know who made it. So that was, I thought I'm going to try it. I went to it. It was this past weekend. I did go to see like who made it in and how it went and I did make a friend there that I talked to, and I've been communicating with him back and forth about how it went and how he did. And it turns out that it really didn't turn out to be that great. Like visually it was nice, but no one really sold a lot. It wasn't very advertised. It was new. And you know what? As I was walking out of the door, literally, Tony and I were walking out of the door to go to the car, I said to him, everything happens for a reason. I'm kind of glad I didn't make it into this one, because it would have been a lot of time just sitting around and gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Really? I don't know where that came from. Anyway, I think sometimes, doors close and it can be disappointing, but we have to remember that doors close for a reason, and when one door closes, another one opens. That's the whole reason there's that saying, right? It's not for nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. No, I have to have that faith for sure.
Because sometimes I think we take it personally, and it's not really personal. I mean, when I saw the art that was there at that particular fair, they really chose very muted, that's a very big style in, like you were just saying about your art, and that is a very big trend right now in interior design, is these muted colors.
Correct.
I'm not painting just to sell to someone to put it in a model home. I'm creating art because it's
Right.
beautiful to me and it's what my soul wants to say. And I will find my right
Right.
buyer for that.
Right.
In
Okay. And speaking of that,
that,
and is also
yes,
the
that's where
right
I was
show,
going.
because you, yeah, you may think it's the right show, but when you actually see that that is different type of
Yes.
art than your art, so it's finding the fairs. And I do want to find a fine art fair to go into, but I want to find one like that has more variety, has a little bit more life to it than just the muted colors. And the reason why the designers like the muted colors is because
Yeah.
they will fit in every type of home. You don't have to stress out that the color is going to contrast with whatever they're designing. So a muted
Yes.
painting is easy to
Yes.
place and put somewhere. So I think that by you seeing that and seeing what art was chosen, it's probably art that they already have hanging in their galleries, like the artists that they've already been working with, because that's what they need for their home. So I think, but I love that you're applying for the bigger show,
The
because I think the bigger show
bigger
has
show
how
is
many people?
120 booths, and that one
Yeah.
I've
So
been to that one
you're
in
gonna
person
get,
to go check it out. This last year I went twice with Tony, and
yeah,
and then they just also did a video on their thing of, you know, they're trying to get everyone to apply for it coming up. So they did a video
yeah,
walkthrough
yeah,
of those booths from the last year, and you could see there was way more colorful
yeah,
art that was in there. It was less, I think, specific, and so
yeah. So you're
yes,
gonna fit in that one probably
a
better and have
better chance of selling.
a better
Yes,
experience. Yeah. But it's never, and nothing, just like me doing the art fair in San Clemente, it's never a bad thing. The connections you make, the people that you meet, no matter what the sales are, is huge. So, and or the learning. You were learning
yes,
when you set up your booth before you had the pro panels that you really wanted the pro panels. So that's what you invested in. And you wouldn't have known that without setting it up for
absolutely.
the other
I think
submission.
that it's important for us to remember, all of us collectively that's watching now or on the replay, all of us in an art journey that are in the beginning phases and we're figuring all this out. It's important to remember that nothing is a failure, because there are lessons in every single part of what we're doing. And if
Yep.
you just focus on
Yep.
those instead of that, maybe you didn't get the outcome that you originally were going after, but if you could look at that as a failure and be down on yourself and just go into this depression and that whole thing. And am I good enough at, should I be
Yeah.
making art? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
very dangerous place to
Yeah.
go into in your mind.
And
It's not
and it's
reality.
not reality. And Aussie Mama says connections are
Um,
sometimes better than the experience.
Absolutely,
So true.
absolutely, because
So
this
true.
guy that I talked to, and we started talking because he had actually made his own gallery walls out of wood and everything. I mean, it was crazy awesome. But I was like, how do you get them here? Like, how heavy are they to set up? I mean, he's like, if I would have thought about that, I would have never done it. Like, he's like, I am going to get pro panels too. Like, I learned a lot. And so, yeah, you can learn from
Yeah.
them, but also I was able to connect with him and say, well, have you, not only did you apply, how did it go, all of those things, but also, are you going to be at this next fair? Because then I will have someone that at least I don't feel alone while I'm there, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Yes, I met a great artist at the fair that I did, and we had the second one that we did, we had booths next to each other, and it was fun because she was going to get something to drink. She'd say, "Hey, do you want something?" Or she'd share things. So it's wonderful to make those connections. I'm so glad. And everybody in our art, everybody who's an artist is just
Really,
super cool. That's
truly,
all I can
it's
say.
very exciting, and
Super
it's
cool.
hilarious because my husband is super
Yeah.
quiet, and I obviously am not. That's why we work. And like as soon as I started talking to the guy, I looked over at Tony. He literally walked back, leaned against a wall, and was on his phone. He's like, "Oh God, here she goes, talking to people. We're going to be here all day." Which is why I want to do an art
He
fair. Like,
knows
I
you.
just think that I'm very
Yeah.
specific about the art fair that I picked. So getting back to kind of the business side of an art fair, right? I've never done one. And you just
Yeah.
did your first ones this past fall. I learned from
Yep.
you, from your first experience of like, hey, I think I want to do a different kind of art fair. Your art is more suited for a different kind, which I'll let you tell that part. But so I made sure to do my research of one, I don't want to be outside. I'm in Washington. Okay. You're in California. It's beautiful. You've got sun and blue skies. All right. I've got gray skies, rain, wind. I mean, you name it. We've got it most of the year. I don't want to
You
be
can't be
outside. That doesn't
outside.
sound joyful to me at all.
Uh,
So this one's indoors. It is
no.
climate controlled. I have electricity. The people that the people that are coming in to look for art are looking for art. They're looking for high-end fine art,
Fine art.
and they're not expecting to pay
Yep.
$25 for something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
make
More
sure you do
crafty.
your
Yep.
homework and go to that fair and walk around and talk to the artist like you
Yep.
did, and make sure that it's where you
Yep.
want to invest your money, because it can be a large investment.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, like I borrowed a tent and I, you know, cherry rigged my decorations. It was it was a little bit tragic. It's not as good as Pro Panels, but if I was to do another one, I would invest in a tent and I would invest in side panels. But I just doing that second one, my setup for the second one was so much better than
Absolutely.
my setup for the first one.
Yeah, it
So
was a
again,
learning
just
process. Did
learning.
you see Aussie Mama?
Um,
By the way, Aussie, is it next week? I think it's next week. Is it, or
uh,
the week after? Anyway,
I every other
so,
week, every other week. So it's two
oh,
weeks
yes, but
from
I meant
it's
to
two
say
weeks
our
from
next
today.
one, which is in 2 weeks. Our next live,
Yeah.
Aussie Mama is going to be our guest. We're so excited.
Yes.
But she says, I was in an art show and didn't sell much, but I met a lady who said that I should join the art group that she was in. Now I have been in the group's exhibitions. Yay! That's exciting.
Oh, good. That I want to talk to you about that the next live, Aussie Mama, because I also am wanting to join a couple groups that do shows all the time.
Yes,
And if you're in the group, you can put your art up in a show. So that's something I want to do. So I definitely
yes.
want to hear
Me
from you on
too,
that
me
when we
too.
talk.
Okay, so we got
That's
that as at
great.
least one topic of the 500
Yeah.
that we'll probably hit on when we're
Perfect.
talking. But yes, I want to know
Yeah.
about that too.
Exactly. Okay. And then let's see what else. And then you were going to let's see what else was I going to say. Oh, we want to talk
Yeah.
about what's coming up for
Well,
us too. Don't let
well,
me
let me
forget
check our
that.
time. I got to
So
check
you have
time. Oh, I turned.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
you
at time.
check
So
your
let's
time.
talk about what's next.
Okay. So
Yeah, go for
I'll
it,
do you
girl.
want me to go first? Okay. Okay. So I'm excited about doing this. So what I decided to do, and I don't know it of the other artists out there, but I made a color chart and I am giving this away for free, a PDF of this color chart with all the colors that we're going to be doing. But I want to do color mixing. It's something I've been wanting to do for my sketchbook. So I have the colors to refer to and then just always keep it and then so it's something that's been on my list. So I thought, well, why not do it live and share it with people and maybe people can follow along and mix the colors. So this is, I was kind of figuring out how I wanted to do it. So I'm mixing the opposites of the color wheel first and what color that makes, and then mixing them with white. So I was trying to plan out how I wanted it to be in my sketchbook, because every time I do it, I want to do it the same way so it looks pretty, because I have to make it look pretty. So if you guys want to do the color mixing with me, I'm going to do 2 colors at a time on the 3rd Saturday of the month at noon Pacific daytime. And on that, I'm giving away the PDF of the color wheel with all the supplies, all the colors, and links. So you can click on the link like the
Yeah.
sketchbook. I love because it's flat. And this is gonna, I got this from Hobby Lobby. And so of course when you get it's the Master's Touch, and they always do like a 40% off of Master's Touch. So you can go, but the link to this actual sketchbook is in that PDF download. So, and then this is going to be my book that I'm going to put all my colors in, starting with, and all those colors on the color wheel that I got are all from Nova Paint. They're all basic, like core core colors, starting with the opposites, and then we'll work to the secondaries and things like that. But I just think I want to do it for myself, and I just thought it would be fun to do it with people. So if you want to join me, the first one is February 18th at noon Pacific, and you can download all the stuff for free. So that's it. Now, the only thing about that I'm worried about is I only have my iPhone. So when I do the demo and I'm painting along with people, it's going to be hard for me to read people's comments or questions, because I know a lot of people that do it like for real have like they have they have their camera and then they have their iPad, and so they can talk to people as they're painting. And so that's something that's going to be a learning curve for me on how to actually do it.
Yes.
A painting demo live. So you guys, if you come, you will be able to experience it.
I wouldn't worry so much. Oh, I would just check back. I mean, I see people do different things and they just pause. They're like, okay, I'm going to check comments. And then we all sit with them while they look. I mean, Jody does it when we're watching her when she used to do her lives. So, yeah,
true. I'll have to pause
go back, scroll back, and just don't put any pressure on yourself that you have to be too perfect, because that's the appeal, is that we're not perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to do it for myself anyways, so I figured, well, why not just film it, you know? So anyways, so that's coming up. That's going to be fun. I'm excited about that. And then in the meantime, in between regular working, I'm going to be working.
And I would love it if you would share with us in your feed your process on, well, I don't know how much you can because it's a commission. I guess there's weird things about that. I've never worried about showing the commission as I'm making it. I've never had anybody say don't do that, but however you feel, but love to see the process if possible, because now we're invested in it with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'll start.
I'm excited.
For sure.
I can't wait to see.
Okay. And then Allie says she likes the birds. That's my one bird. It's a canary, and he sings. His name is Guinness Stout. I got him on St. Patty's Day, like 3 years ago. So thank you, Allie.
He's so happy. He's singing like that every time her and I talk, and I'm like, be quiet. I have to hear Guinness. Like, hold on. And then of course he stops, but.
Right.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
I just finished up with getting the art, having enough art to fill my pro panel walls and apply for the spring fair that we've been talking about. I will know on the 20th. I also applied with them for an emerging artist program, and they said they have like 25 people that normally apply, and they'll pick 1 or 2. And how that works is if they choose me, then I will get a free booth for that time, and they will pair me up with an artist that will mentor me on how to do the art fair, how much art I should have, like how to set up, like all of those things. So I applied for that too. It's a weird timing on it. In fact, they don't even tell you if you got into that until after I have to pay for the booth once I get into the original fair, right? I'll figure all of that out. But the 20th of February is when I'll know that I got in. I'm going to be positive, putting it out into the universe as positive. I think I've got a really great shot, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, you're going to get it.
And then Tony and I are working, and when I say Tony and I very loosely mean Tony. He's just taken this ball and run with it, and that's good, because he just is very adamant about, you need to be making art. You're the only one that can make the art. Other people can do this. I can do this, so let me do it. But he's researching prints, and we've talked about that before, where you did your pro prints, and so figuring out how to get that to where it can be with the website. And then we invested in a better camera to be able to take the pictures. So we're just slowly plugging along to build an actual real business with it, as long as it still brings joy, right?
Yes. And I do want to put this out there, because I am thinking about switching over to I was doing canvas prints so that I could do them on a larger size, but I'm thinking of I can't do that on my website easily, to do paper prints as well as canvas prints. It doesn't give you that selection option. So I do want to try to get more paper prints going, and I'm going to try to figure that out too. So Tony and I
Absolutely.
will
Like we could
to
have do a
compare
Zoom and
notes.
like talk about
Okay.
what you've learned, what he's learned, and then we can share it on
Yeah.
here once we get some more, you know, info about it. But we're both, you and I, I'm doing this because you're us. What was that show that had the squares and they were all looking at each other? I'm showing my age big time.
Oh my gosh. Aussie Mama said this, and I say this all the time, that I need a Tony. She goes, I need a Tony.
Everybody needs one.
I have a Randy, but he's no
I
help.
tell you what, this guy, I mean, he's my tech guru, and I remember when we were 19, I would have never thought that he would be doing all of this stuff, but here we are. And I'm so grateful because my brain just does not comprehend that stuff. We actually took a computer class together, the very first one that he ever took, where we learned about ones and zeros and all of that, like DOS, way back in the Army. And I slept through the whole class next to him while he did everything. I only passed because I cheated off of him. The professor was like, why are you here?
Oh my.
So anyway, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And then Allie was, one more quick thing, Allie was recommending a couple, just so everybody, because I don't think these notes save, is a couple of people that do prints. Is she had MPix and oh my God.
Yes.
Giclée today for prints. But what I found, and I did this through another artist that did an actual test between different printers, and I'm using Finer Works out of Texas, and I really like their quality as well. So Finer Works, Giclée today, and MPix.
Okay, we have to do another whole subject about Giclée because that's a whole other ball of wax of learning about that, and that the difference in the prints in that. We've been learning that. I actually Googled the other day how to say Giclée because I didn't know.
Giclée. And I don't think there's a big difference. I think the Giclées are on the canvas.
Really?
But I think they're going to be the same as on paper. And that's what I've got to decide. The only reason why I was thinking of canvas is so that somebody could have it, you could ship it rolled, so it's cheaper to ship, but then they can have it stretched onto stretcher bars like a regular canvas. And that's why I was doing them, especially with the larger sizes. But I've also been following a lot of artists that do larger sizes and their paper. And paper might be cheaper.
And then they can just frame it. Yeah.
So so I'm feeling.
Well, quick question.
Maybe paper.
I wanted to ask this. Maybe you guys will know, but I always hear everyone say, "Well, you just ship it rolled and then have them, you know, do whatever, stretch it when it gets to them." What does that cost? I mean, okay, so say I've got a 36 by 36 and it costs me $250 to ship it, right? What is it going to cost them on the other end to have it stretched? You know, is it cheaper to just ship it than it is to have them stretch? I don't know either. So if anybody knows, could you message us and let us know what that is? But I definitely got to get going because I've got an appointment, but I want to stay on here all day with you guys.
Okay. I know. I know. I like it. So next week it will be Aussie Mama, and then we have another guest coming from Canada, Tamara Grand. She'll be on with us.
So we have some great artists that are up and coming up in our lives. So excited.
Yep. So excited. I know. So excited. All right, everybody, we are going to go for now.
Thank you for watching, talking with us.
I hope you had fun. Yeah, I hope you had
fun.
Okay, bye, my friend.